Please welcome, representing Liverpool, welcoming back, it's Matt, and representing Everton, it's Rob. Yeah. Welcome back, buddy. Matt, how you doing? Rob, an absolute pleasure to meet you. What do you make of that? That's outrageous, Matt.
I don't know, I was thinking kind of smacks of Sam Allardyce, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely right. It does. It reeks of Allardyce. And do you know what as well? I've been with Toby Tarrant when he's ordered a pint of wine. And it's just absolutely disgraceful. Matt, let's talk Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now, high praise indeed for your manager, Mr. Klopp, today, in the form of perhaps the greatest footballer of all time, one Diego, hand of God, Maradona. Maradona has said, Klopp at Liverpool is the manager who catches my attention most. I love what he conveys, the type that gives me confidence. Before at Dortmund and now in the Premier League, Klopp is always going forward. What are your thoughts on Maradona's comments there, Matt?
I think Maradona was one of the greatest footballers of his time.
Agreed.
I think since then he's kind of got off the rails a little bit in a certain way. I mean, I saw him fighting with Duran Veron in a match for the
You
match.
saw him fighting with Simon Le Bon? What? Why on earth would he get into a fight with the frontman of Duran Duran? If you've ever seen Diego Maradona in a fight with a member of Duran Duran or any of the other new romantics, tweet at FANTV UK. Why on earth was he fighting with Simon Le Bon, Matt?
Duran Veron, but
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Ironically, I think it was in Rio as well.
Brilliant.
I think genuinely the match did happen in South America, but it was a match, the Pope's match for peace. It was an exhibition match, and Duran Veron and Maradona actually had a fight on the pitch. But that was recently. I don't know. I think Maradona came off all right, but anyway. But yeah, his comments on Klopp, I think. I completely echo them. I think there couldn't be a better man to be in that position at the moment, and welcome all the praise you can get.
Well, let me ask Rob, our Evertonian, Klopp. How good is he?
Nice beard.
That's a compliment from an Everton fan. Take that.
I don't know. He runs up and down the pitch. He looks exciting. I don't know. Football-wise for Liverpool, who knows what's going to happen there? You've got a nice big stand. Nothing's going on. That's Burnley.
Nothing's going on in their nice big stand.
No, that's Burnley.
115 million, the nice big stand cost. Although lots of stories when I was doing my research
bad
today.
Stories, isn't there?
Well, there's the Anfield Road end, is it?
That's going to be extended as well. There are plans to.
Well, all the news today is that it won't be extended. Rob, you're chomping at the bit.
That's right, yeah, because they don't want to put their hand in their pocket. They want the fans to pay for it,
exactly.
Which is nice of them,
Yeah.
Because these players who are on £5-10 million a year. They pay all this money out and they want the fans now to fork out to pay for the stand.
They estimate if they've got
Football's gone mad.
Football's gone raving mad. Let's get your thoughts on that. If you're a Liverpool fan and you're watching, are you disappointed at today's announcement that since the completion of the new £115 million stand, the new proposed Anfield Road stand will not be, well, they're not saying it won't be built, but they're putting it on the back burner. They estimate, Rob, that I think that would cost up to 80 million.
Yeah, they said it was 15 years where they get the money back.
Yeah.
And obviously they need the money back straight away, don't they?
That's the issue.
Because they haven't got enough money, have they?
They want immediate return, and that's the problem. They've looked at this kind of Club Wembley situation we've got with the main stand at the moment. If you look at half time, half of it all pours out into all of the nice catered areas, and they're making lots of money from that. But they're not going to be able to make the money immediately back from extending the Anfield Road end, and that's where they're not going to do it.
But what's the issue there? Because they're saying, OK, we're going to park the Anfield Road end stand for the time being, and if it ever gets built, they want the fans to play for it. And then in terms of the players, Klopp has vowed to give youth a chance at Liverpool after insisting he'd rather play rising academy talent than spend big money on new signings. So the board and the chairman are saying that we aren't going to build the Anfield Road stand. Klopp is saying that he's reluctant to spend big money on new signings. Is there a financial problem at Liverpool?
Well, also, sorry, just to butt in there, today they've announced that the youth players have got a cap now of £40,000.
Yes, 17. Yeah.
So that again, if you I think there's some kind of financial problems there.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, because the owner's got all of this money,
To be honest,
apparently.
I think it relates to a few things, but I think mainly...
Come on, you Blues.
He's slowly working his way in there. Nothing about him yet. Just you wait, mate. Just you wait. No, it was. I think when it comes down to it,
Couldn't understand his Liverpool accent then.
Fair enough. Has worn off. Give it a minute. Give it a few minutes.
Judo, don't you know?
No, I think it's... Fair enough.
Sorry, mate.
No, I think there's a few problems, but I mean, mainly for Klopp, he's not that type of manager. He isn't the type of manager that will throw big money all over the place all the time.
Yeah.
He's always been that type of person at Dortmund, and I know, although we spent big money this summer on Sadio Mane and that kind of thing, but I mean, he is the type to seek out youngsters and up-and-coming players and spend... he's ruthless with the type of players that he wants coming into his club.
Okay, let's bring Everton in on this as well, Rob, because I don't know what Koeman thinks of Klopp, but certainly after today's Everton press conference, we all know what he thinks of Pep, and it's fair to say he absolutely loves the man. Most of the press conference this afternoon...
I didn't see it, actually.
Okay, I saw bits of it, and obviously I read an awful lot about it, and I'll speak to Nigel about this when he comes on later as well, our Man City fan. But not only waxing lyrical, I've got a couple of quotes as well. They go out for dinner. They talk about not just football, but they talk about life. Koeman absolutely loves Manchester City's manager, does he not?
Well, I don't think... well, we'll see Saturday afternoon what happens at 5 o'clock if it's the other way around, you know.
Let me find these quotes, because I've got to... You didn't see any of the press conference?
No, I've been working all
But
day.
pick out a couple of the nuggets from the press conference, because you must be aware of what he talked about and certain revelations made. What would you pick out?
I've been working.
You don't know a thing? Okay, let me find... let me find a specific quote.
Working all day.
What have you been doing?
I'm a publican.
Okay, where's your pub?
Clerkenwell.
What's the name of it?
The Horseshoe.
Okay, the Horseshoe at Clerkenwell.
Horseshoe.
If the Fan TV crew turn up, do we get discount on beers and
Of
scrambled
course, yeah,
eggs?
you get 10% off every lemonade you buy.
Okay, I want to find these quotes as well, because it was a fascinating press conference. It's my favourite feature. I'll have a foul, please. Let's do it. Okay, I will slowly reveal to you vowels in the name of a famous footballer involved in a fouling incident for the first time tonight. Can I have a vowel, please? 1E. My goodness me, that's difficult. Look at that, Rob. Any idea as to who that might be? 1E. I don't need it on the
Trevor
sheet.
Brooken.
Trevor Brooking, I'm pretty sure it isn't right. Matt, any idea? It could be.
It looks like Steve something where the E's placed. But
okay.
I have not a clue.
Not a clue. If you think you know the name of that famous footballer involved in a fouling incident, then get in touch. You can tweet us at FANTV UK. You can email us, join in at fantv.me, and please Skype us Fan TV channel. Just whilst I peruse my notes, in general, Koeman's only lost one game, I think it is, in 7. In 20 seconds, do you think he's going to come unstuck?
He's lost 2 in 2.
Is it 2 and 2?
Norwich and then Bournemouth.
Yes.
In a few days of each other. Well, obviously they won one league game. We haven't really played anyone big yet. We had Spurs the first game of the season.
So I know you didn't see it, that's clear. I did. Ronald Koeman, your manager, in the press conference today, waxing lyrical about Pep Guardiola, who you face, of course, on, is it Saturday?
Saturday, 3 o'clock.
At the Etihad, said this. Pep had the best ever Barca team. He made it 200% what it was. We were talking about this earlier, Matt, weren't we, before the show? It's actually too much percent, isn't it? 200%. It's too much percent, isn't it?
Far too much.
Yeah, because if you think of 100% as the maximum, how can you have 200%? It's just too much. It doesn't. I've done the math. It doesn't work. Look, numbers don't work for me, Matt. Numbers don't work for me. You can't have 200%. But never mind. You know, I quibble. It was a different way of football. It would seem there's a bromance there. Bromance, 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 bromance. Rob, bromance.
Obviously, they had a bit of Barcelona together, didn't they? I think they must have worked together there.
Yeah.
He wants his job, doesn't he? He wants the Barcelona job. He wants that kind of to be there, doesn't he, Ronald Koeman? He's always kind of spoken about the idea of being at one of the big clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona.
Yeah,
and
is that a big club, mate? He's in the biggest club on Merseyside, in Liverpool, in fact.
Matt, do you think that's what it's all about? You think he's got one eye, Koeman, on Barcelona?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think he's working his way up slowly. I'll admit, I think he's, and I'm not just saying this, I think he's slightly overrated for what he did at Southampton, but
Did they finish above Liverpool last season?
Yeah, but we were shit.
Matt, are you basically what you're saying is that Everton are a much smaller club than Barca?
Barca?
Barcelona.
Ronnie Barker.
4 candles.
Listen to me trying to talk all football. Barca, I love it.
I think yes, Everton are a smaller club than Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Yes, that they are essentially. So, sorry, smallest club in Merseyside, but also that was always going to happen. It was always going to happen. But that's the way they are. That's the way they'll remain.
I'll tell you what. Let's do dog puns for football teams. Hashtag Barca. Let's try and get hashtag Barca trending. Tweet at FANTV UK. Join in at fantv.me is the email. Dog puns. Actually, whilst we're on the Twitter, let's do the result of poll 1. Let me remind you of the question. Here it is. The question for poll 1 was, he's been promoted to the Premier League 3 times with Birmingham and Hull, so how will Steve Bruce's first season as Aston Villa manager fare? 7% say automatic promotion, 70% playoffs, 13% bottom half, 10% relegated. Very briefly, Rob, what do you think? Steve Bruce, new Villa manager. Are you with the 70% that say playoffs this season? Yeah.
I can't see him getting automatically promoted. No. You know, it's not a great side, is it? But he's been there many times.
Matt, if you voted, what would your vote have been?
To be honest, I think he's got a tough job in his hands. I think he would. I wouldn't say playoffs, but I wouldn't say bottom half. I think he'd finish just in between, if that was an option. I'm going to say bottom half.
So you think bottom half?
Yeah.
You don't think he'll make the playoffs?
No, I don't think he will.
OK, if you're a Villa fan, what are your thoughts? I'd still love to hear from you. Skype us, FanTV channel, or tweet us at FanTV UK. Let's launch the second Twitter poll. As it's hashtag National Fossil Day. Is it? Well, no one told me. Would you tell me this, Matt? It's national... I love it. You know what I'm like for a fossil? Who's the best? Who's the best current oldie of the lot? Your options are Cech, Terry, Totti, or Ibrahimovic. Thank you very much. Cech, Terry, Totti, Ibrahimovic. As it's National Fossil Day, who's the best current oldie of the lot? Vote and retweet. That's the second Twitter poll. Rob, to go back to Koeman's love for Pep and the fact that, Matt, you raised an interesting point there, that he's got one eye on hashtag Barca. It's true that Koeman has only signed a 3-year deal, and he's been accused in some quarters of what's been labelled as short-termism. So do you think, regardless of how he does for Everton, when that 3-year contract is up, he is off?
I'll just say he might not even make the 3 years, you know. Yeah. I'm on the fence, really. I've never seen that much of him with Everton yet. You know, he's only got a handful of games. You know, let's see how it pans out. His signings went great in the transfer window. Let's see what happens in January. Yeah. You know, but it's hard to say. You know.
How long was he at Southampton?
Just 2 seasons, was it?
But yeah. He's got. I mean, you raised a good point. He's got a history of this, hasn't he? You know, he'll come in quick, 2 years, 3 years, and then regardless of performance, he's off onto the next venture. Yeah,
it's that kind of Mourinho thing, I think. But Mourinho comes in and he wins things and then finds his next challenge. Pep comes in, he wins things, finds his next challenge.
I think all them top managers are the same. They all do 2 years here. They all do the same clubs. Milan, Barcelona, Madrid. The same super managers, aren't they?
With Koeman, though, Rob, is it not at the expense of youth? Because he's made some interesting decisions since he came in. Since his arrival, Dowell, Kenny, Connolly have all been dropped. Now, these were all young, I think, academy players. I'm not sure if they all were, but all young players that were on the cusp of making it into the full team. And they've basically been dispensed and they're back, back with the under-23s.
Yeah, but you've got to understand there was no under-23s last year.
Right.
This is now the under-23s. It's the Premier League 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now they're all in the Premier League 2 where they were under-21s before.
Yeah.
So you can't really sort of use that because it's a completely new league now. The sort of the reserves.
How about Davies, though? Davies, good young player, has been benched.
Well, it looks
so
good,
far
you
this
know.
season.
He looks good. Yeah, you know, he played twice last season. He's played once this season. You know, again, there's only a few games. There's not that much to drag out, to be honest. I don't think so. I can't see.
Do you think, sorry, Rob, Matt, do you think he's guilty of short-termism, as it's been coined in some quarters on the Tinternet?
I don't know yet. We'll see when it comes to Everton, but I think he certainly does have an eye on his next step up, because I think he took Southampton as far as he thought he could go with them. Yeah. And I think that's the issue. He wanted his next challenge. You know, I'm not going to slag you up again.
Sorry, this is FANTV.
I was going to say he's not really taken a step up in going to Everton, to be completely honest.
What a thing to say.
He got Southampton into Europe, and then he got headhunted to another club. I don't think that's short-termism. I think it's promotion.
Yeah, but then you're not in Europe, are you? We're not in Europe.
Oh, no, of course we're not, no.
But, you know, not really kind of going in there.
No disrespect for Southampton, but Everton are a bigger club. You know, the fourth biggest club in England.
You've got better history than them. I admit that. You've definitely got better history than them. But in terms of, I mean, nothing to offer him in terms of...
A new billionaire owner, new stadium on the docks.
Nothing really worth it. No, honestly, in honesty, in terms of talent...
A checkbook, sign who you want.
Yeah, but you never signed any central defenders that you needed to replace John Stones.
You've got loads of central defenders. Loads of central defenders.
Okay, we'll see.
Well, let's talk about Europe then. Next season,
when we're both in Europe.
Well, who is most likely between Everton and Liverpool to be in Europe next season, Matt?
Come on, really? Of course. To be honest, I tried to be not to be so pessimistic about my own club, but I think we definitely will do well if we continue to play the way we are, and I think we'll definitely be in Europe.
Rob,
yeah, I think both teams should be in Europe. I'd expect them both to be there, to be honest. You know, Liverpool, I've always seem to have a lot of money to spend, get big players in year after year, you know, and now we're in that boat where we can do that. We've got a nice little squad anyway. You know, we've underachieved for a few seasons now. I can't see us not being in Europe next year. When
Pep and Koeman go for a dinner together and they talk about life, Matt, what do you think they discuss? And where do they go for dinner? Like, they go to that quaint little bistro, Zizi? Where do they go?
I don't know.
Been to that quaint little bistro? It's just tucked out the way. Matt, have you ever been to that little bistro, Zizi? It's just tucked out the way. It's just, sorry, Matt.
I think they probably go down, the proper nice kind of area in Manchester, where they're, Northern Quarter, that kind of area, find a nice kebab shop together. Yeah. You know, after a few beers, go in for a kebab. That's what I feel like they probably do.
Pep and Koeman going for a kebab after a last few beers. Rob, can you see if you've got that image in your head?
I think they'll be in the King's Head, a couple of pints.
Yeah.
And a pie.
I love the idea of them going for a dirty kebab together after a few beers.
Extra chilli sauce.
And a bit of chilli sauce, a bit of kebab sauce. Cheesy chips. Koeman, Rob, wants the team to press from the front. He said today in a press conference, which you didn't see, that this contributes to good defending.
I think that's great. We've had 2 years of watching paint dry at Everton. It's been awful. And it's so nice that, you watch Liverpool's game, much as don't like him, they do press all the time, they harry, they chase, and it's quite exciting to watch. Yeah. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's no end product there because they don't win many games. But they've got a lot of energy, and it's exciting to watch.
So far.
You know, and I'd like Everton to be like that. Just harry all the time.
So you'd like to be Everton to be more like Liverpool?
No, the football.
Yeah.
Not the team. Not the team, lads.
You would like Everton to play a more of a Liverpool style of football?
No, a more of a...
you said that.
That's what you said. I was here. You said, guys, did you not? Yeah.
These Bristol Rovers fans, they're always the same.
He's been saving that one. He's been hiding that.
Why don't you just wee in my eyes? FANTV channel is the Skype. Who's there on the Skype? Who is it? Hey,
hi, Justin.
Hello, sir. What was your name and who'd you support?
My name is Mark and I support Everton.
Mark, and he's an Evertonian. Mark, unlike Rob, who claims to be an Evertonian on our lime green sofa, did you see Koeman's press conference this afternoon, mate?
Well, I can only claim to be an Evertonian as well because I didn't see it either.
Okay.
These Evertonians don't watch their press conferences. Go on.
Matt, our Liverpool fan, is saying all these Evertonians, they never watch their press conferences.
Well, at work, lad.
How do you respond to that, Mark?
Well, Koeman talks a lot of sense. It's not quite the melodrama and the entertainment of Jurgen Klopp. So, we know not to expect fireworks and rhetoric the same way we get from Jurgen Klopp.
Too much rhetoric from Jurgen Klopp, is that fair to say, Matt?
He's saying that our press conferences are more exciting, and theirs aren't.
Is that why you're trying to grow a beard as well?
Yeah, essentially. I've got the glasses going.
I should thank Ginger Luke as well for that awesome tweet.
I want my boots vouchers. Where are my boots vouchers at?
Hey, you're not getting around on my pot noodle. That's not happening. Mark, just a couple of points then regarding Koeman's press conference. He clearly loves Pep Guardiola. Is there not a danger ahead of the game, of course, at the weekend, that Koeman could be too much in awe of Pep?
Potentially. I think it's more of a problem the players have got to look out for than the manager. And I think a lot of players and a lot of teams go to Manchester City in awe of them and don't actually attack them when, okay, they've got a great side and they've got some great attacking players, but for quite a few years now, they're still a little bit iffy at the back. So if Everton have got a bit of confidence in themselves, and that, of course, that's going to come from Koeman, there's no reason why Everton shouldn't go out and have a go at them. Although when you do that against them, the chances are that they're going to open you up pretty easily at the back.
Mark, when I was doing my Everton research today, there was a suggestion that I found online that Koeman could be guilty of short-termism. He's only with you for 3 years, that's the contract. He was only at Southampton, Rob, was it for 2 years, I think you said. Do you think regardless, same question that I asked Rob earlier, regardless of how he does for you at Everton, do you think when those 3 years are up, he will be away looking for perhaps a larger club in Europe?
No, I don't think so. I think he's going to buy into this, what the new owners have got down, I think, as quite a long-term project with a new stadium on the way sometime soon, it looks like, and a fair bit of money, and we've got lots of good youth players and all that sort of thing. In 3 years' time, Koeman's going to have done a heck of a lot to go to a bigger, high-profile club that's bigger than Everton. Listen, Everton have been doing pretty poorly in the league the last couple of years, but if he can get us up there into the top four in the next 4 years, is he the right man for Barcelona? Who knows? Roberto Martinez managed to land the job with the Belgian national team, so anything's possible.
Mark, as you've mentioned, you have got some good youth players at Everton, but it would seem that Koeman isn't particularly keen on playing them.
I think he's finding out right now who he's got in his first team of the experienced players that are going to stay around for any great length of time. But the likes of Mason Holgate, who we've already seen a little bit of this season, Brendan Galloway, who's gone to West Brom. Yeah. There's a lad called Kieran Dowell, who's a good young player in the midfield. Tom Davies. There's 5 or 6 there who he's getting a good look at, and by the end of the season I imagine they'll be getting in the team, especially if some of the older heads don't perform in the way he wants. And I don't think Koeman is one to take too much nonsense if they're not putting a shift in. Isn't there still a potential problem though, Mark, because both Dowell, Kenny and Connolly, before Koeman came in, they were all starting to get a look in the first team, and they've all been sort of relegated, if you like, to the under-23s. And Davies, as I mentioned earlier, has just spent his entire time on the bench so far this season. Yeah, they got the odd game at the back end of last season when there was nothing to play for. Everton were mid-table, and I think Martinez was doing anything to placate the crowd by the end because he knew he was on his way out the way we were playing and the results. So I won't read too much into that.
Mark, whilst we've got you, are you up for a cheeky Broomer?
Go on then.
Broomer! 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 Okay, the Blues are labelled absolute favourites to land Italian keeper Juventus number 2, Neto. What a great name. Neto. But only on... Yeah, he's shopping at Neto. He's shopping at Neto, Mark. But only on a convoluted 2-year loan. Now, this was reported in Calcio Mercato. Everton are set to go shopping at Neto in January, but surely, if that rumour is to be believed, you're looking for more of a Waitrose keeper, aren't you? Or perhaps at least a Sainsbury's. Touch me, thank you.
Well, we shouldn't be shopping at Netto, Aldi or anywhere like that. So we need proper Marks and Spencers at this time.
Yeah, but do you not think that maybe when it comes to goalkeeping, you need a little help? Touch me! Touch me! Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, Mark, back to you.
How do you follow that, Justin? I don't know.
Have you heard anything about that rumour, though? You're in the running for Juventus's number 2. In all seriousness, wouldn't you prefer to hear that you're in the running for Juventus's number 1?
Well, despite the fact he's about my age, with just as much grey hair in his beard, I don't think he's really one for the future. But I'm surprised we didn't go for Joe Hart. I mean, I know he's got his issues, but he's still an excellent goalkeeper, I think, on his day. But I think Juventus is number 2. I think Everton can do better than that.
Absolutely. And just briefly on Joe Hart, what a game he had for England, of course. Man of the match. And the rumour, this was already a rumour, I think maybe a week ago with me on the show. What we're hearing, Mark, is that if he's going to return to the Premiership from Torino, he's more than likely to go to Chelsea. What are your thoughts on that?
That would be a shock, considering Courtois is still there. He's still only young, and okay, he's not been exceptional the last year or so, but he's only a young keeper, and he's proved that when it comes down to it, he is good. So I couldn't see Manchester City selling him to Chelsea.
And very briefly, Mark, but before we have to love you and leave you, you've got the second best defensive record in the Premiership so far this season. Jagielka said defensive consistency will allow the magic to happen. So very briefly, mate, do you think the magic will happen against Manchester City at the weekend?
No.
Absolutely brilliant.
Nicely put. Yeah.
Mark,
I've been watching Everton too long to get me hopes up.
Mark, I would like to invite you onto the sofa because it's been brilliant speaking to you. Would you come in one night?
Absolutely. Next time I'm down in London, I'll be happy to come in.
You lovely man. Let's hear it for Mark, everybody. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mark. If you would like to be on the Skype like Mark, that lovely man is just there. FANTV channel is the Skype. If you want to tweet us at FANTV UK. If you'd like to email, join in at fantv.me. And I say this pretty much every show. We are totally unaffiliated. The show is called FANTV. It's your show. We talk about what you want. You dictate what we discuss on this show. It's yours. Let me just go back to the sofa. Rob, on that rumour, had you heard anything about that? Juventus number 2.
Why would we need that?
What I don't understand is, I remember we discussed it weeks ago now on FANTV, Matt, that there was talk of, in fact I think Koeman actually denied it, of Joe Hart going to Everton, and he dismissed that. So why on earth would they be in the running for the number 2 at Juventus, when I suppose there's every possibility that they could sign the likes of Joe Hart, man of the match for England the other night with a sensational save?
I think the only reason why Joe Hart isn't sticking around in England is it's a bit like a horrible situation for him. He wants to get away. He wants to escape it all, and I think that he won't come back to England unless it is City again. I personally think, but I mean, who knows what's going on in his head, really. I
want to ask you about Lallana.
Yes.
So say hurt at Swansea 12. So you're smiling already. Hurt at Swansea 12 days ago. Now is Klopp playing mind games there? Does he not have a history of saying players are injured when in actual fact, I'm sure they all do it, he just wants to rest them for the big games?
That's a good point. I guess Sturridge was always injured.
Yeah.
And but I mean, to be fair, he was always injured and then never played. So that's an issue. But I guess he is really tough on his fitness, his Klopp, and you do have to really have you have to be fit and ready to be part of his regime in the way that they have to force themselves on other teams on higher up the pitch. So you do have to be ready for that. So I guess if certain players aren't ready or fit, and I mean that's worrying because Firmino and Coutinho are away at the moment in Brazil.
Yeah.
So if they're players as well that might not be ready for the game because they've got to fly all the way back.
Back on the money issue, we're hearing that January transfer window, big money offers are going to come in for Coutinho. Can you see him leaving?
No, I worried he would leave this summer, but I think now that if we continue the football we're playing at the moment, I think there's no reason why he would. But to be honest, he's been off the boil. He really hasn't been the usual player he is, because he is usually the centre of attention at Liverpool, and he's not been for the past few games. Rob,
let me bring you in on this. Could you see Coutinho going? Because we were talking earlier about the fact that they've parked plans to build the stand that they have planning permission for, the Anfield road stand. That would solve that problem, wouldn't it, if they sold Coutinho come the January transfer window?
I don't know if they would do that, really. I think it's a backward way of looking, really. I don't think teams sell players to build stands anymore. They used to sell players to save clubs, but you know, they want instincts of success. So if they're going to success, So if they do sell him, they'll want a better player. They won't be interested in the stands.
Okay, Matt, with 1 minute to go, guys, you've been brilliant. Please come back very, very soon. I've got to ask you about this. Your thoughts on the fact that the big game next Monday, you against Manchester United, will be refed by a referee from the Greater Manchester area. What are your thoughts?
Do you know, I hear this all the time.
We've only got a minute, sorry.
Sorry, no, I really... I don't know what to say about it, really, because I think it's a bit unfair to criticise someone who's just because they're from an area. But apparently his wife is also a Manchester United fan.
OK, that's a new one.
So,
we didn't know that.
so yeah.
Straight down to Coles then.
Can I give you this as well, Matt? Yeah. England's former top referee, Keith Hackett, has criticised the decision to put Anthony Taylor in charge of the game against Manchester United. He literally lives down the road from Old Trafford, and you're saying his wife is a Man U fan as well.
I think it...
Should it matter, does it matter?
It does matter, and it does. And I think the thing is, it'll build up to the game as well. And I think it'll almost put a positive touch on it because he'll almost be pressured not to give Man United anything.
Rob, with 30 seconds to go...
It depends. I mean, Greater Manchester and Merseyside are next to each other. It could be right on the border, you know. It
10
could
seconds,
be a
Liverpool, Manchester United on Monday night. Who's going to do it? Who's going to win?
Oh, United 4-0.
Okay.